Hello ladies, welcome to Homemakers Radio. Hope you get a few things done while you listen. This isn't really designed to watch, but if you're not feeling well and you need some company, you might as well listen to me. And I have the whip hand over you because now I am elderly and I have experience. So I can tell you things that I've been through that might be of some value to you. Now, if you're new here, please go over to the link which I provided in the description box and click that on and go watch the video over on my post because there'll be pictures and other things there. Now today, before you go, I would like to share my teacup with you. It's an antique one. I found it years ago at Goodwill when I was out. Not out, you know. And this is by a company called Paragon, England. And I do use this still. I like the inside color. It's amusing. I always think you're getting more for your money when you have something on the inside of the cup. And this has a beautiful piece of art on the inside with someone's signature on it. Looked like Catherine Klein. And so I wanted to show you that. And then also today, before you go, I have something else to show you. I've been ordering my food from a company called Imperfect Foods, and the foods aren't imperfect, they're just maybe not labeled right or something. I don't know quite what the story is. You can go online and look for Imperfect Foods and find out what their story is. And I have really enjoyed that, and they're organic, and the food just makes you feel good, and it doesn't feel acidy or anything. And today I'm going to share with you something new. I want you to look at this and see if you can guess what it is. It's called a watermelon radish, and I am so it tasted so good. It had no heat in it, no spice, but it was crunchy and just beautiful. And one of them came, so I cut it all up. I was going to share it, you know, with Mr. S, but I kept going back and getting another piece, and he didn't get any. So he went to a Whole Foods market and bought another one, and this is what it looks like. And so on the inside, this is what it looks like. It's just delicious. There's no spicy heat. Children would just love this. And it looks beautiful on a salad. And I have noticed that some of the Hoffman Media publications that I get, particularly the entertaining books, the Tea Time, the Victoria, the cookbooks, use some of this because it's so colorful. Now, some of them that I have got from this company are very red, more of a scarlet red, bright red. This looks like it's more purple, but I guarantee you it's just delicious. And so for amusement today, I decided to make something happen, and I worked on my little art journal, which I'm not very good at, and I did a drawing of the radish. There you can see. My lettering is not really up to standard yet, but at least I did it. At least I did something, and I made something happen. You know, you've probably found out by now that home is everything when you're in captivity. So make the best of it and make something happen there and make it beautiful. You know, many of us probably wish that we had kept some kind of record of captivity and all the things that we did to make life good and to discover. It's a way of rediscovering life so that it's not played out for you somewhere out there. And so you've probably discovered home is everything. Now your comfort is paramount. Now your taste is paramount. Now your company, the people that you talk to, and the way that we act towards one another at home. Now this reminds me, I'm just going to say it while it's on my mind, but first you may go now. You're excused to go do your work. Maybe you can get something done. Maybe you can make something happen out in the laundry room. But I have seen this before where I've had to have someone come and stay with us because they were down and out or they needed help. And I would say, look, we're going to be cooped up together here for a few months before you are able to go. Let's keep that in mind and know that tensions might be high. We might be a little more tense. Let's put on a little bit more refinement, a little bit more kindness, and let's remember not to let our tempers go. You people with young children, remember that too. You are in a time where you might be getting overly tired. Children can be trying in some ways, and to just remember this is that time. This is that time when the tensions might grow, and to take a hold of yourself. And so this is what we told, and there were several people here during a very hard financial time when one of our industries quit, and some people were not able to keep their homes or stay in their place that they were having to pay rent, and so they went to stay with their parents again, or their brother or sister. And that was one of the, it was like the Magna Carta. It was like getting on the Mayflower saying, okay, we're going to be cooped up here for a while. Let's make us a set of rules. Let's make us, and one of the set of rules was always practice kindness. And the other one was, in this one family I know, was let's always look to help the other person be successful. Whether it's being successful in some kind of personality problem they have, some kind of character habit that they want to shake, or some kind of other thing that's bad for them personally. Let's help each other. Let's try to do what we can to make each other successful, and to encourage one another to fully blossom and bring out the best in us, and discover our talents, and discover all the things that we can be. And that is what really helps. And in these times of captivity, you might want to consider drawing up some kind of a statement like that, and or thinking it, at least thinking when you're cooped up like this, not a good time to start criticizing one another. It's not a good time to come out and start accusing, blaming, and punishing people. And so one of my children once told me that when we were upset as parents, we would just tell them, we just tell them, and then it was over, and we got it out of the way. But as they grew older, when they met people that they had to work with, or other relationships, they discovered that these people could seethe and live in this hatred constantly just by the look in their eye, and that was worse. They thought that was worse. So let us do it the opposite, and we can be kind and loving just by the look on our face. And let's just be the opposite. There are some people that teach Titus 2, and they teach that homemaking should be miserable. The housewife doesn't have a reason to be happy, or it doesn't, quote, deserve to be happy, shouldn't expect to be happy. And the way they put it, you would think they were working for the other side, because God wants us to be happy. And remember in that old book Pollyanna, where she was talking to that firing minister, and she said her father, who was also a minister, had said there were so many, like hundreds of happy texts in the Bible. And just remember that too. Someone told me today that there are 365 verses in the Bible. That's as many days as there are in a year usually, that warn people not to fear. So I think that's really interesting. But there are also plenty of happy texts in the Bible. Now today, I would like to say I'm doing this for the record. One day, my grandchildren or great-grandchildren might want to listen to it. So I'm doing this for the record. So if it doesn't quite suit you, I'm just doing it for the future. And I want to talk to you a little bit about getting ready, getting dressed and getting ready, because the way you dress and the way you keep your house sometimes will fix your mood for the day. And sometimes you can get in a habit of thinking that this is just home, we don't have to worry about it, but it is more important than anywhere out there. Have you noticed in the past, when we were before captivity, how a lot of things that were taking place, classes you could take, things you could attend, were done in warehouse-like structures with very unappealing backgrounds? I remember once I went to a physical therapy class. I'd had some health problems, and so I went to a physical therapy. It was the gloomiest place. It was in one of the rooms that was rented for this class, but it had no windows, and it had the artificial light in it, and oh goodness, no beauty to speak of at all. And several of the things that I attended in my past life were done in places that had just no appeal to them at all, which is what I think discouraged me. Now, some people are not as sensitive to light and beauty. Some people, it doesn't matter. It doesn't bother them. But wouldn't you rather take an art class in a place that had something artistic in it or something beautiful in it? Wouldn't you rather go to a class and listen to somebody talk who had a pretty background? Well, this is why I chose Fabulous 50s for, I don't want to call it exercise, because it isn't exercise, it's mood therapy. She'll always say you're going to feel better and you're going to feel good in a couple of minutes. And what I did is I went through her videos and found all the ones that had the ocean background. And then I decided to just, because why not? You know, I'm old enough now that I don't have to. I like pretty things. And as Cynthia said to Molly, I don't have to look at someone who's exercising in front of a warehouse or inside of with a brick wall in the background. So I've decided, I went through and found all the ones she had of the ocean background. Even if you're in your 20s or you're a teenager, if you are not fit or you're not feeling good and you're in a cranky mood, I would suggest you go and do Fabulous 50s. Find 5-minute exercises. Look for the ones that have the pretty backgrounds, especially the outdoor backgrounds on the ocean, and do those. Why not? Why don't we choose the best for ourselves? And so if you're going to be really very successful in the home and effective at what you're doing there, what you're trying to do, the mood you're trying to put in the home, I would suggest you choose to watch things that have something beautiful in them, and that I would say that exercise class would probably be the best. Now, of course, I don't approve of everything that everybody puts on their playlist. Absolutely not. But you can always go find your own, you know. So I think that it's important to make things beautiful. Now, of course, I homeschooled my children, and one of the things I wanted to change was that feeling like you're in a warehouse, feeling like you are locked up in a prison, feeling for setting for learning. I refused to do it. I parked my kids in front of a pretty window with a table and a tablecloth, and we put on soft music, and we had and we enjoyed the homeschooling, and they were allowed to daydream. They were allowed to look out the window. They were allowed to enjoy God's nature. And I will talk to you more about that next. But there's nothing in the Bible, and there's nothing in any kind of instruction on how to read or how to write that says you have to be in a dull prison-like atmosphere before you can be successful in that. So I refuse to do that. And remember, I said that I would have sacrificed anything for my children to have a happy, carefree childhood and to learn to love beauty. And this is one of the problems with homemaking, is that so many times women who want to be homemakers don't feel that they can do it because they don't know how to love it. They don't know how to enjoy it. Well, I hope today I can say a few things that might help. So make your background beautiful. Make your atmosphere beautiful. What is the problem? Mr. S told me years ago, if there's something you don't like and you need some paint or something, I'll paint it for you because it's cheaper than it's really a lot less trouble than dealing with a woman who's disgruntled or feeling a little uneasy or nervous around something. So I got from that I had to create my own atmosphere because no one was going to do it for me. So make things beautiful. You have to admit that home is now everything, and it's not going to be possible to wait it out when there is any kind of upheaval or emergency. There's no point in waiting it out because it might not ever come. Many people wish that they had that year all over again so they could accomplish something, so they could keep track of it, keep a record of it, keep a book of it, keep videos of it, so they know that they did make something of it, because these are the days that God has made, and He wants us to use them to His glory. So don't wait it out. With yourself, with your house, with your appearance, with your children, with your husband, go further, do more, and give it a stretch like you would in the, I call them mood therapy classes, in the exercise classes. She'll often say, just stretch a little further, just do one more, go further. Your mind is far more capable of doing things and taking us further than we use it for. And don't wait for other people to pull you along. This is one of the problems with everything being done by someone else, everything being done by the public school or any kind of a school system, is you don't learn to think unless someone gives you an assignment, or unless you're following a certain prescribed course. But at home, you don't have to do that anymore. You can go further. It doesn't mean that you will be less informed or less educated or less skilled. It probably means you'll go further, you'll do more. So at home, and with your mood therapy exercises and your other things, don't wait out the situation, the political situation or the social situation. Don't wait for anybody. Don't wait for it to change. Go ahead and make something happen yourself. Go further in your housework. Go further in making the home beautiful. Go further. Stretch yourself. Now work out your reluctance. Work out your reluctance and your laziness the way you would work out the kinks in your body. Just a little bit at a time. Push a little bit further. Rotate it. Just learn to have a determination. Determination is one of the things we need. We can have determination. Now, I talked about character last time, and why there's good character and there's bad character, and how you need to work on how to develop the good character. And today I want to mention again refinement. I've had it before, but I had a thought while I was working in that room back there, the one I'm trying to get in order, is that can you still, I asked the question last time, can you still have good character when the situation is not easy to live in, or when there are limitations? Can you still have good characters? Or when you have someone who has a bad character, who is having a temper fit, can you still respond with good character? Well, refinement is the same way. So the test of your refinement is, can you still be refined and look good in different times or less desirable circumstances? Can you still have a nice routine at home in less than desirable circumstances? Well, that is one of the tests of your refinement, because if you're refined, if you have good character, then it's there all the time. It's not for special occasions. It's not when I'll have good character except when I'm under a lot of pressure and then I'm going to blow my stack. That's not good character. Good character permeates all of this. It's like permafrost. And I also want to tell you that I'm talking from experience when I say that I am that you are going to be getting older, and you may come to regret every wasted day, and you need to think about what you're doing, because it will benefit you as an elderly person. You'll be awfully glad you did some things. You will also regret that you didn't. I have several regrets. One is that I didn't have my children do enough artwork or writing so that I would have something to keep, because of course we're always so busy and I just have very few things that they did. However, they did as they got older when they were adults. However, I think it's good to have the children do things, and also to make sure that their pastimes and the things that you want them to do have some quality to them, have some meaning to them, like learning good artwork and good design, how to design, especially music. You know, I've noticed these families where they use the stringed instruments like the fiddle and the mandolin and the guitar and the other things, these families can play together. These families can form music together, and music lifts, that kind of music lifts the mood. Now with our family, we didn't have all these instruments, but we tried to sing and learn parts, which was very valuable. It really did lift us up. But a more creative thing would be to make up your own songs. So creativity is also part of growing in the home, and even you can grow. And if you're going to teach your children something, make sure you learn it too. So you can make things happen in your home. You don't have to wait out this captivity. You can make things happen. So do things that will benefit you when you're older. You know, there are parts of life that God actually created for us within us to desire, to want, and that He wants us to have. There are parts of life. I would like to relate some of them that I was thinking of today. Might be beneficial. God created us to enjoy communication. You know, He started talking right away to Adam and Eve, didn't He? And communication is essential to human existence. And you'll know where I'm going with this, because I'll tell you right away. When a cruel state or dictator tries to take away communication with you, you know they're going against God's will. And they created us to enjoy communication and transportation. You see that all the way through the Bible, how the people moved their flocks along, and all of the places that they went, and also their transportation, the different kinds of transportation they have. Transportation is just part of it, kind of is inbred into man. You'll may not have been here before, but the first thing you'll want to do is communicate. The next thing you'll want to do is learn to walk and have transportation. That is so important. And then the other thing that came from God is the desire to work or to trade, enterprise. And then the home, the family, and your citizenship. Now, there are some religious people that don't believe that any of that's necessary, but I don't see it. I see it all through the Bible, people using it. And citizenship, in fact, the Apostle Paul, he knew that the only important citizenship was his citizenship in heaven. But when it was time to defend himself, he had to use his Roman citizenship and appeal to Caesar. And you do have, your citizenship is a great advantage. Your earthly citizenship is a great advantage. So we should never think that that does not matter. But it's a great advantage, because if the government tries to shut you up and tries to lock you down, you need to be able to do what God wants you to do. He wants us to spread His word, to teach others, to help create life for others and enterprise. And when that is shut down, you have to know that's not right. So you can make good things happen at home. And see, I also noticed that some people do not want to experience life. Now at home, you know, things will go wrong. And sometimes your schedule just won't work out, or things that you intended to do, you never could get around to them. I'm one of these people that can attest to the fact that sometimes I can't seem to get my life going till around noon. And then I perk up and I start my day, which I don't like to do that. You know, I'm always thinking, what a waste. But at least I'm doing it. And some people don't want to experience the ups and downs of life. We've got a whole different thing going on here, and that is that people do not want, people who have experienced a life where it's all laid out for them, and maybe by education or maybe by their career, where life is all laid out for them, and then this is going to happen and that's going to happen, and then they're going to retire and do this. Really don't want to experience, when it comes down to it, if that were taken away from them, would not want to experience the hardships of the ups and downs in life. However, at home, you get to do that, because you get to experience things and work it out differently. If it didn't work a certain way, you learn to do it a different way, and you get smarter. And I've told you when you come out of the other side of this captivity, I would like you to accept my challenge to come out smarter, come out more creative, come out more fit, maybe even younger. Come out of it more entrepreneurial, come out of it with more alertness, more ideas, and with more love for your family, and more enthusiasm for your home. Let's come out of the other side of this better, stronger, brighter. Let's use the time for that. And let's make some good things happen. I had an interesting experience the other day. Thought I'd share it with you. As you know, we never did shut church down. We didn't participate in all this stuff that's going on, and we're out here in the country. We're on farmland, and we did not shut down any of the church activities. We still kept the ladies' Bible class, which was at my home in the manse here, and we still had services in that old building over there, and we had an interesting experience. Normally, churches in the country don't get huge, because people are further apart. So if you get 20 cars in the parking lot, you're really successful, because they come from all over the place in quite a distance. So some visitors came, and we were all getting up there, getting ready for the services, trying to get organized, and the song leader has quit putting the songs up on the board there, and he just asked people to come and tell him a song they want, and he writes it down for them, and that way he doesn't have to choose them all himself. So people were gathering around him saying, "Oh, I want this song, I want this song." And he'd say, "Well, I don't know that one, pick another one." And these visitors were sitting back there looking, and I'm thinking, oh no, this is not going to go well. We don't look like we're too organized. And of course, it's the plaid shirt church, Everyone has quit, the men have quit wearing ties, and they just wear plaid flannel shirts in the winter, and plain ones, plaid shirts in the summer. And the preacher, Mr. S, wears a plaid shirt to preach, and they were also kind of scurrying around trying to find all the Bibles and songbooks and get those passed out. And I'm sure these people were wondering how organized we really were. But once the person that got up to read the scripture and lead the opening prayer was up there, it was total order and silence. And when the song leader led the first song, everyone was just right on the note, and ended when he ended, started when he started, paused when he paused. It was just so beautiful. And then during the sermon, Mr. S he'll quote a scripture, and everybody will kind of flip through their Bibles to find it. But afterwards, one of these men came and said to my husband, "Oh, I really like that. That was like Little House on the Prairie." And then, so I said, "Well, what makes you say that?" "Well," he said, "you were using songbooks." And I could hear all the pages of the Bible flipping when they were all looking for the same scripture. And so anyway, they came back. It really surprised me. Probably came back so they could choose a song. So I thought you might enjoy that little human thing. And I'll tell you something about these little human experiences, like when I told you about the visitors that came, and that is, since I have been in captivity 150 days now, and I haven't done anything, participated in anything commercially. Yes, I've been out, I've been to church, I've had lots of company, and I've driven places, but not commercially. I have not involved myself in anything commercially. Since I have not really associated with people outside of this group, and also the ones that I see, I'm starting to see things and hear things so much more keenly than if I were out all day doing my shopping and all the running around that I used to have to do. I have noticed that I can get a story out of some of the smallest. I would have just shrugged and looked away years ago at an incident like that, and it wouldn't have been a story. I wouldn't have even thought anything about it. I'm starting to notice it more. Plus, I don't watch the media, and I'm not listening to all these voices, movies and just programs, and things like that. And now, so the only voices I hear and the only thing I see as people are the real people and the things that they say, and I'm noticing how interesting and amusing it all is. And so I hope to have more of that to tell you. Well, it's like Jane Austen, you know. Her sister wanted her to come and visit, and she wrote back and said, you see, I never go out. But she collected a lot of stories from the people that came to visit her father in the parlor. He was a minister, apparently, and she would note characteristics about them that were amusing and just create these characters. And you can see them in some of the plays and some of the movies that were made from her stories. And if you were just working in a business and inundated with customers and people, you wouldn't see it so much. I'm starting to pick it up. So make good things happen. Now, sometimes in life, especially at home, in the home life, there will be people in your family. I'm talking maybe extended family, maybe your, I don't know, grandparents, children, grandchildren, just all these people, or friends, can be very disappointing. Or when this happens, it could happen. I'm not saying it will, but when it happens, let's just say a friend just kind of turned rude or started to be critical. I think that one of the remedies for that is this. When people shock you, disappoint you, or put you on edge, or kind of discombobulate you, I think it's really important to put yourself on an improvement program. Just go on an improvement program of your own creation. Include health, include art, include some kind of construction, anything creative. I mentioned design, and what I mean by design is those of you who ever took mechanical drafting, you know how to design, how to lay out maybe a floor plan for a house. But there are other kinds of designs. There's landscaping designs, and there's clothing design, and there are all kinds of other things that you could do. But include in your self-improvement the things that you'd really like to improve on. Learn how to do certain things. And I noticed there was an etiquette lady on YouTube not long ago, and the one that I was telling you about, that she told you how to pick up something gracefully if it fell, and just while you're still sitting in your chair. And things like that. Just put yourself on a program of self-improvement of your own listing, your own thing, and then follow that, because it'll give you something to do and distract you and think about. That is, if you can, when someone has done something that's totally out of character or that you can't quite reconcile. Now I also have some ambitions. Now, for instance, do you have fabric that needs to be used up? Would you like to go through some things that I have? You know, I have an old truck, and in the back of it is old paint. I'm going to go through that and see what can be used, and then I can finish painting the outside. So put yourself on a program of your own creation. And I have changed, I have changed this exercise. I'm going to call it mood therapy now, because it just helps the mood so much more. Now, I have friends that like to contact me and find out what I've been doing, and then tell me what they've been doing, and that way we have a little program going there. You call me and tell me what you've been doing, and I'll call you and tell you what I've been doing, because it keeps the mind sharp. It's very important not to get dull, not to get blasé. And in a way, I think it's also essential that you not raise children in front of videos and movies and films, because they need to play, and their thought process needs to be properly developed. And I would not not have television. I would not have anything for them to watch. They don't need to do that. They can watch you. You can watch them. I've often thought they should not be watching any kind of video unless they're making the video. If you make the video and you make the video of each other, then you things that you're doing, things that you're progressing, and as the children get older, you can watch these old videos. I think that's important. They can watch themselves do things. So think about that a little bit, and don't use the videos and TVs and even tapes and sounds as entertainment. Instead, just sing to them. And you know, they don't care if you don't know how to sing. They don't care if you don't have the perfect voice or the perfect tune. They're just happy to have you. It's a relationship you're building. So ladies, I hope that this has helped you. I'm just going to look over my notes really fast to see if I left anything out, and then hope that you can make something good happen today at your home. So I hope you make some progress today. If this is not enough time, you can click continuous play and go and play the one that's previous. I've been making just a few more of these because I'm going to be taking a day off, a couple of days off to work on something, and I didn't know if I'd get back here. I have been taking some notes and decided I better go ahead and say them before I forgot what I wrote that word down for. And I hope that you have a lovely day and create some sunshine inside of your own house and enjoy the season no matter what it is, and don't wait for something out there to happen. And you might want to try ordering more things just so you'll have something special coming to your door. And so thanks for coming, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.